Thanks, Freak. A pretty dominating win there, at least at the end. We saw Curse pick up a couple solid fights there to take a 2-0 lead over LMQ, and they said it yesterday, or they said it at the desk yesterday. If you had said that Curse was going to 3-0 LMQ, I'm not sure I would have believed you.
I didn't believe it until I started seeing it happen, because Curse, they looked completely demoralized yesterday, but then that feature that we saw with Dominate, where he was saying it didn't get us to get down that much, we just went back, we're like, all right, get level, know we can win this game. And they're coming out very, very strong today with great showings.
And that's great to hear from them, that they do have that mental fortitude in order to come back, brush off yesterday's losses, come back strong. I want to jump right into a replay. We're only going to go 6 minutes into the game because I think something that emulates that or illustrates that is the fact that Voyboy has now gotten first-blooded in all 5 games of the playoffs. But here we have an example of him coming back into lane and still playing aggressive and playing strong.
Yeah, his last 5, because there was 3 that they played beforehand as well.
Well, it's the 3.
Yeah, the most recent 5. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we're going to start rolling this replay out. We're going to see that Xiao, he actually gets chunked out very early on here, and Voyboy hits 6, pushes the advantage, and then No Name comes out of the brush and tries to counter gank this, but Dominate is off on the wings. No Name, he's going to leap. He doesn't have his flash from a previous gank, and they're just going to walk up and turn this completely around on him, and he has no escape available, and Xiao decides, I have to ulti here, so now he doesn't have that up for the next time he wants to try to chunk down Voyboy, and they lose all of their lane pressure off of that counter gank.
Probably, as a solo laner, when you do get first blooded in a game, what does it take to come back in the lane and play as aggressively and say, I'm going to get the next one?
Well, I do have a lot of experience getting first blood in lane, so at this point it's kind of just like washes over me, like, oh, I'm feeding. This is probably going to be a good game.
A good game.
For Voy, he is playing Yasuo, which he's very comfortable on. So when you get that comfort level on a champion, if things go badly, you've played solo queue, and things that go way worse in solo queue when you play these champions. And so he's had experience, like, yeah, at least the enemy doesn't have double buffs right now, because I've probably had to deal with that before. So I think it's just kind of like going through the motions. He's done this before, and it just didn't really affect him.
Soon after, we saw Voyboy pick up the Ninja Tabbies as well as Dominate and Quas in the top lane, all very early in the game. I feel like that was a really great adaptation by Curse to recognize the team comp that they were playing against and build towards that.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic adaptation. I actually pointed it out when I saw it. I was like, whoa, very early. Is this first buy on Voyboy? Because he wanted to be able to withstand the damage threats, the physical damage threats, which was all that LMQ really had. They had a Maokai, but that was about it in terms of magic damage. And you're not going to be chunking down Yasuo with a Maokai. So I thought it was really good. And it saved him multiple times there. Even the final fight, I think that would have gone completely differently if he didn't have Tabby.
Yeah, we saw a couple fights kind of between that point and 20 minutes that went in the favor of LMQ, and things looked pretty good for them. So probably, what were the factors that, kind of disallowed them from carrying through?
I think a lot of it is LMQ relies on getting these fights where they hope the enemy team isn't ready for it. And you saw that a few times they would get the upper hand in these fights, but Curse kept calling their bluff. The second LMQ would go aggressive, Curse was like, yeah, okay, we'll fight this. When in normal situations, if you're losing and someone's picking a fight, you're like, oh no, let's salvage this, let's do something else. So I think they're kind of being thrown off with Curse staying aggressive, because if they watched yesterday, they would notice Curse kind of played passive yesterday. But now they're back to their regular self. They're not going to play passive, and they're going to go hard for this third place spot.
And something that seemed to catch LMQ a little off guard was the 20-minute Baron attempt by Curse. So we're going to pull that up onto your screen, and probably I want you to walk us through that.
I think the biggest thing here is you got to ban Nunu against Curse, because this is what they do every game. If you want to roll it right now, they actually start Baron because they know that Vasily isn't there yet. So right now, LMQ just has to start a fight because Baron is going down very quickly. I think Xiao makes a mistake and ults the wrong target, but he also gets exhausted. So at this point, he's a non-factor. And basically, Ackerman's in there tanking damage, but no one's hitting Ackerman. Everyone's just trying to kill the Baron. So right when they kill the Baron, they get that instant buff. They get 40 AP, 20 AD. And at this point, LMQ just needs to cut and run. They lost Baron, and they need to get out. But Curse does an amazing job. Xpecial gets that hook, and they're able to pick it up on No Name, and they bait Xiao back in. And at this point, they're just running at them. And there's nowhere to go. How are you going to outrun them?
And you have to compliment Curse on the presence of mind to realize that No Name was not there. Yeah. And for the call to finish off the Baron with that consume smite.
Yeah, the No Name wasn't there, Vasily wasn't there, so it was a 3-on-5. And I'm just having replays in my head because LMQ, the last couple of games we've seen them, it has been a Baron that has been their demise. They go up and they walk up to, even against TSM when Bjergsen was baiting Xiao off to the side, they keep getting in really bad positions and they've put themselves in them very consciously. I think they just need to take a step back and chill.
I was about to drop a stat, which is that over these last 2 games, there have been 73 kills between the two, or 74 kills, rather, between the two teams, 43 of which are in the hands of Curse. So very bloody games. We are at that point in the series, 2-0. So is it that LMQ just needs to say, hey, I know normally we go for these high kill games and we play hyper aggressively. Let's see what happens if we farm till 20.
I don't know. That's not their style. That's really not their style. And they have to play to their strengths, but their shot calling has been off. Their morale's been really weird lately. I think a lot of managerial issues might have been a problem for them. So I have no idea what they can do here. They have to be very resilient, have a lot of tenacity, and just come back and not let those last 2 losses affect them, because we have seen team kills, reverse team kills happen.
I think LMQ's big thing right now is they can't change their play style. They have to stay aggressive, but I think their picks can change. I think Xiao needs to be on those big farmers, not necessarily the assassins, but get on Syndra, Ori, that kind of thing where he really flourishes, and bait team fights around that. Bait team fights around Ori ult, or bait team fights around a Syndra stun. And I think that would complement them a lot, because I know Vasily works really well off of CC, and they're building these comps that are pretty low CC, so I think that'll kind of work with them pretty well.
All right, maybe a little change up in the team composition going into Game 3. We are going to step away for just a moment, but don't touch that browser. Curse are just 1 game away from securing their first trip to Worlds. We'll see if they can get it done when they face off against LMQ in Game 3. Stay tuned.
Xiao dropped as well. 2 for 0, 3 for 0. Ackman is going to fall. Xiao trying to kite out. Not clean up. 2 for 2 so far. Double kill for Vasily. Then can he chase down combo? Whoa! Triple. He does not get enough.
Yep. That.
Down here.
We can add.
Splash them up.
Nice. All right. Good job.